just an update on what I've been up to lately. I've got my 210 registered and legal to drive on the road now, fully registered and insured. I must have air conditioning working in my cars, and it does not work on that car. It has the very common, especially for tropical climate cars, because it came from Queensland, leaking evaporator. I'm going to, next weekend, remove that dash and replace the evaporator. I do have an original style one from a donor vehicle, but I was able to track down new right-hand drive evaporator coils. They're not made anymore, nobody makes them anymore, but there are quite a few left in Europe if you know where to look. And that is the part number, do not ask me for it. And yes, left and right-hand drive are not the same. Apparently you can modify, I think, Chrysler 300C early version Evap coils to fit in the right-hand drive cars, but that requires modification of the coil for it to fit. These will just be a drop-in replacement. This is what the original type looks like. I'm not aware that we got the parallel flow in right-hand drive, and if we did, I certainly cannot find a part number for it, and it's not available anyway, so what's the point of even talking about it? The original manufacturer for this particular one from a 96 car is Vallejo, and they are all interchangeable on the right-hand drive cars. And I will say that it's actually considerably better quality than the current made in China version from Mali. You can see already that the fins are lower in number. I mean, that might be good for efficiency. It's going to flow more air through it, but it's also cheaper for them to manufacture. And there's not really pride of workmanship going on with this thing, because out of the box, I'll show you something that I found concerning. Out of the box, it's got impact damage. And that just pisses me off. So I'm going to go to hell and back, removing my dash, putting in something that has damage out of the box. I did buy 2 of these. Hopefully the other one is better. If it is, I'm going to fit that one and just keep this as an emergency. I'm sure it's fine, because I'm sure they pressure test it. They probably submerge it in a bathtub of water and then charge it up to like 200 PSI. With nitrogen, just to make sure no bubbles come from it. I mean, that's what they would do if they were responsible manufacturers. I'm sure they are, hopefully. The other thing interesting I noticed, they've arranged the tubes in a way that they save the money on one of them. So they've rearranged them, the order of them, so that one can be skipped. And they're all there on the original. That's kind of strange, but it probably saves them 10 cents. And I know my Evap coil is leaking because some person that owned the car in the past put fluorescent leak dye in the refrigerant system, and I can see it coming out of the drain tubes from the HVAC box. So there's no getting around it. I have to change it. What MB actually recommends when you suspect an Evap coil leak, and this also works on 124s and 140s and basically everything of that particular era. This is the evaporator coil pressure tester adapter. So no dash disassembly required to do the test. You're basically just removing the TX valve and bolting this in its place. That's the part number there. They're not actually that expensive. It's about 75 Australian dollars. And the instructions are pretty basic. I think from memory you charge it up with dry nitrogen around 200 and something PSI, low 200s, and watch the gauge for 4 hours, and if it doesn't move, your evap coil is good. I would think at that kind of pressure a leak's going to be pretty obvious pretty quickly. I'm not going to use this because I don't need to. When you see oil at the drain, then yeah, this is a waste of time. I know it's failed. The other thing, these original and the replacement evap coils, the bottom tubes are basically sitting submerged in condensate, and I think that's why these eventually perforate from corrosion and leak. And I say probably most likely in high humidity environments, because this thing's going to be dumping a lot of water. This car came from Queensland, and you need the aircon there. It's very humid. It's a tropical environment. WA, our air is like low humidity, so this is not an issue here. Both of my 124s have original evap coils, and they're absolutely perfect. One of them's going on 10 years since I recharged the system, and it's still perfect. This one, this is a WA car for half of its life and a Victoria car for the other half. I'm on the fence whether I should bother keeping this or throwing it out, but I suppose I have the pressure tester. I can probably charge it up and see if there's any bubbles in a laundry trough or some large receptacle of water. And I just have it sealed up with cling wrap just to stop any debris getting inside it. So anyway, that's what I'm up to at the moment. I don't think people actually care too much about 210s, hence why I don't make too many videos on that car. If people aren't interested, then it's not worth my time to actually record it, because it's easier just working on cars without having to worry about recording it. If anyone actually wants to watch me change the evap coil in that E430, then I will record it. I'm going to have Tim assisting me, and I'm going to change the heater core at the same time, because I never ever want to go in there ever again. I could probably just change the O-rings on the heater core, but screw it, I'm going to change the whole thing. They're actually pretty cheap. These are cheap too, if you can actually find them.